Did you know that you can practically live for free while building wealth at the same time? This strategy is called house hacking, and few people talk about it. Today, I'll show you how it works with up-to-date data and real-life examples, and why it could be the secret to transforming your finances. So, share and subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss any tips that can help you achieve financial freedom. The concept of house hacking. House hacking isn't just a trendy term. It's a proven strategy to live cheaply while building solid wealth. It works because it turns the biggest expense most people have, housing, into an asset that puts money in your pocket every month. And the best part, it takes advantage of something most people overlook, which is the easier financing available for primary residences. Basically, it involves buying a multi-unit property, like a duplex, triplex, or quadplex, living in one unit and renting out the others. This way, you immediately create a cash flow that reduces or even eliminates your housing costs. And you still get to enjoy the comfort of having your own space. The reason this strategy is so powerful is that by living in one of the units, you qualify for residential financing programs that require much smaller down payments, usually between 3.5% and 5%, compared to the typical 20% or more that investors have to put down. In other words, you need much less money up front to get started. On top of that, interest rates for primary residence buyers are significantly lower than those for investment properties. That means you not only have a more affordable down payment, but also pay less interest over the life of the loan, saving you a lot of money. Over the years, this difference can mean thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. The magic happens when the rent from the other units covers, or almost covers, your mortgage payment. It's like turning your home into a money-generating machine instead of just a liability draining your wallet. House hacking could be the push you need to start building real wealth. How it works in practice. Let's look at some real numbers to see how this works and how you could make it happen. Imagine you live in an expensive city like New York, London, or Sydney, where a single-family home might cost around $1 million. If you buy that single-family home, you need a 20% down payment, $200,000, and finance the other $800,000. With an average interest rate of 6.5% as of 2025, your monthly payment would be around $5,000. Now, let's take that same $1 million and buy a quadplex in the same neighborhood. You still make a $200,000 down payment and finance $800,000, but instead of living alone in a house, you live in one unit and rent out the other three for $1,500 each. That's $4,500 a month in rental income. In the end, your monthly payment is still $5,000, but you only have to pay $500 out of pocket. That difference makes a huge impact on your budget. Think about it. You're practically living for free while building wealth and gaining experience as an investor. There's another little known detail. After 1 year, the minimum occupancy period for residential financing in many countries, you can move to another property and repeat the process. This is called serial house hacking, and it can be the catalyst to create multiple streams of passive income. That's the real magic. Turning your current home into a fully rented property and using the same method to buy the next one. Each time you repeat the cycle, you increase your cash flow and diversify your portfolio, laying a foundation for long-term financial freedom. Evolution of the strategy. Imagine that after that first year, you're ready to take the next step. You find another multi-unit property and do the same thing. Buy it, live in one unit, rent out the others. That first property, which was only costing you $500 a month, is now fully rented out and generating positive cash flow. It's gone from being a cost to being a source of income. This creates a growth cycle that only depends on you to keep going. Every property you buy and rent out generates income and builds your net worth. Over time, it turns into a snowball. The rent covers the mortgage payments on new properties, your equity grows, and your risk is spread across more properties. The real magic is in the ability to multiply the strategy. If the real estate market appreciates, and historically it grows 3% to 5% a year, the value of your properties goes up without you having to do anything but manage them. It's like the market is working for you, while you enjoy the reward of that growth. There's more. If you want to expand faster, you can refinance those properties. When the market value goes up, you can tap into some of that equity, the difference between the property's value and the remaining loan balance, and use it as a down payment on more properties. And you don't pay taxes on that money because it's a loan, not a capital gain. The mindset behind house hacking is simple. Turn expenses into investments. Each property becomes an asset working for you, generating income and long-term security. And best of all, you're learning to deal with tenants, leases, and maintenance right from the start, building valuable skills for life. Financial benefits. The big advantage of house hacking is leverage. Smartly using other people's money, in this case, the banks and your tenants, to build wealth. Instead of saving for years to come up with a 20% down payment for an investment property, you can start with as little as 3.5% or 5% using government programs like FHA loans in the U.S. or similar programs elsewhere. This makes it possible for even people with little savings to get into real estate. On top of that, as the real estate market appreciates, which is common in urban and growing areas, your equity grows without having to sell the property. That's the power of time and natural market appreciation. You wake up every day with a net worth that's slowly but steadily growing. If you want to speed things up, you can refinance. By tapping into some of the value your property has gained, you can use that money as a down payment on another property. And because this is a loan, not a profit, you don't pay taxes on it. One of the biggest advantages of real estate investing. This refinancing strategy lets you scale up your investments without needing more of your own savings. But the best part is positive cash flow. If the rent covers your mortgage and maintenance costs, you're not just living for free, you're making money. And don't forget the tax benefits. The interest you pay on your loan, property depreciation, and maintenance costs can all be deducted, boosting your net returns even more. This combination of leverage, appreciation, cash flow, and tax benefits makes house hacking one of the most complete strategies for anyone wanting to escape the rat race and achieve financial freedom. It all starts with a decision to take action. Adaptations for different budgets. It's true that not everyone can start big, and that's completely fine. You can start small and still see amazing results. If buying a quadplex is out of reach right now, start with what you can. The simplest version is buying a single-family home in a good location. Live in it for a year, taking advantage of the favorable financing and rates for primary residences. Then, when you're ready for the next step, rent that house out and buy another, even if it's not a multi-unit property. Turning your home into a rental is already a step toward financial success. If you want to go a bit further, start with a duplex. You live in one unit and rent out the other. Even with just one tenant, you're dramatically cutting your housing costs and getting your feet wet as a real estate investor. You'll learn about management, leases, and maintenance, all on a smaller scale. Over time, you can move up to triplexes or quadplexes. This gradual growth is a key to avoiding unnecessary risks and building confidence and experience in the market. Each step you take opens doors to even bigger opportunities. The beauty of house hacking is that it adapts to your budget. If you have less money, start small. If you have more, start bigger. What matters is understanding that the first step is the hardest. But it's also the most important to start building real wealth. Risks and considerations, of course. House hacking isn't all sunshine and roses. This strategy requires flexibility and patience. One of the biggest challenges is sharing space with tenants. Even though you have your own unit, living alongside other families can affect your privacy and require more adaptability. There's also the responsibility of managing the property. You'll be in charge of repairs, finding reliable tenants, and keeping the units rented. Vacancies can happen and impact your cash flow, especially in the beginning when you're still learning how to handle everything. Another key factor is location. A well-located property, close to public transport, shops, and services, ensures steady rental income and faster appreciation. Never underestimate the importance of choosing the right neighborhood, as it can make the difference between success and disappointment. It's also important to understand that things move slowly at first. It takes time to learn how to work with tenants, handle maintenance issues, and get a feel for the real estate market. But in the long run, that experience turns into confidence and financial stability. Finally, Remember that house hacking isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a method for building wealth steadily and smartly. Be patient and disciplined, and you'll reap the rewards of every decision you make today. Today you learn how house hacking, this often forgotten strategy, can change the way you live and invest. From the concept to the practical steps, including the benefits and risks, it all shows that housing can be much more than just an expense. It can be your first step toward financial freedom. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you thought about using this strategy? Leave a comment below. And remember, your journey to financial freedom starts now. Click the link in the video description to unlock the ebook packed with investment secrets, mindset shifts, and wealth-building strategies.